Okay, so setting up your SmartThings device to close your EcoNet valve with the internet disconnected. You can see here I've got my EcoNet valve and I've got my Samsung water leak sensor. I'm going to switch over to my camera mode here, and there's my leak sensor. Here's my EcoNet valve, my Bulldog valve, and here's my Samsung hub, and it's plugged in right now, and it's connected to the internet, so the light is green. The most important thing is that the execution location here, as you can see, is set to local for both devices. The EcoNet valve, you have to go in and change it to a Z-Wave switch generic, and I've just given it a device ID number, a random number. Now I'm going to set up the automation. As you can see right now, I've got no automation, so I'll switch to the camera here. If I get this wet, nothing is going to happen. I haven't set anything up yet. So inside the SmartThings app, you're going to go to the side menu, Automations, add an automation, and if device status, and this is our water leak sensor, if it's wet, then we're going to control the device, which is our EcoNet valve, and we're going to close it and hit save. And hit save. That name is good. Okay, everything is done. So now, if I switch back to my camera and I get this wet, so you can see we're still connected here, the light is still green. If I get this wet, it's going to start closing the valve. That's what we want. So I'm going to open the valve back up. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is disconnect the internet from the hub. So that light's going to turn to blue flashing. So now I'm going to get this wet, and there you go. But again, it's important that all of the devices inside the automation are set to local execution. You can't do anything that is not local execution. You can't send any messages in that thing. You can't do anything. And again, if I were to try to operate my valve right now, I can't. And even if I have the leak sensor sitting in the wet and it's closing the valve, you can see the leak sensor is still going to indicate as dry. That's because this is just disconnected. So the hub can still respond to these devices, but it can't send anything to the internet. And again, so that setup, that's the automation setup that you want to have. Hopefully that helps.